Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. But you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. Sugar, there's a reason. All my life, by my side. All my life, all my. One time from side to side. Without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Peekaboo, I see you, peekaboo, I see you. Looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. One time from side to side.
Well, didn't expect us to be back this soon with NACL Open Qualifiers round number 2 of the summer. We're going into a Swiss bracket here this time around, and Titan Esports have partnered with Polestar. So all of you Polestar fans out there going to be watching our stream, they got a matchup against Zen Esports coming into this absolute banger. I'm excited to watch these players crash at it again.
Yep, absolutely excited. I think we're gonna get some really good quality of play here. We're gonna see some really good picks, some really good drafts, high level players. I'm excited to really get into it and really see what the scene's about, see what this Challenger series is gonna look like. So
Well, as we know, last time around, Polestar, I believe, finished 4th, losing out to Lotus in the Open Qualifier Playoffs round number 1. So, they're going to be on a little bit of a revenge tour, looking to be able to bounce back with the same roster here. Ariano rounding out that mid lane prodigy. Everybody's talking about this guy, especially during last qualifiers, as well as Prismo putting up that performance. Azog and the 80 carry slot with Will and Hoarder rounding out the top side. These are very well-known players that have been in these qualifiers time and time again, and they're looking to get that championship win to just round out their statistics and round out that resume and look to build up into the next tier.
yeah, I'm really excited looking at these KDAs out of this jungle. I'm looking to see if there's some really good synergy there. When you see KDAs above 4 and 5 out of a mid jungle, a lot of times that means you're going to see a lot of early plays, you're going to see a lot of dives, you're going to see a lot of roaming. And seeing that, a 6.24 on Will and Ariandel with a 6.11, even Prismo with a 6.12, seeing grub roam, seeing dragon plays early, you see that, and a lot of the times you're going to see a lot of early aggression. You're going to see people trying to make plays, make things happen on the map. So very excited to see what this team can pull out here.
Speaking of teams, we got Zen Esports here. Seem to be a little bit of a new squad. Not really much we know about these players, except for if you've watched ACL. Apparently, I'm not familiar with which league that is. But they have won 2024 Winter, so they obviously are qualified players to make it into a tournament like this. They're a little bit of a newer squad. We don't know too much about them, and they're going up against a heavy hitter right out the gate. They're going to be looking to make not only a name for themselves, but show the type of skills and what they can provide into a tournament like this. They could very well be an underdog Trojan horse here. We don't know. We have not seen them play. And they're going up against Polestar out of all teams. So they're going to be a little bit nervous, maybe trying to look to knock down these top dogs, or maybe they're just going to shoot to do their best.
Yeah, that could be a blessing and a curse, I think, for a lot of teams. I think some people will look at that as, we have sort of a clean slate. We can walk into here and, look at a talented team, an established team, and see what kind of damage we can do without having already made a name for ourselves. I maybe some people view that as a bit of a bane more so than a boon, in the sense that they've got bigger shoes to fill, they've got something to prove. But I'm of the opinion that when you have a clean slate, I think you got a lot of avenues, a lot of doors open to you as a team. So I'm very excited to see a new team. I think without a lot of stats and without a lot of preconceived premonitions about teams, I think it's a little bit easier to sort of play into something maybe that people aren't going to expect out of you. So I'm very excited to see what they can do.
Yeah, maybe they have their own little team meta that we are a little bit unaware of. We could see some wacky styles and compositions with these higher up teams. We kind of see them stick towards what the standard meta is around the field of play and pro play. Speaking of which, we are delaying a little bit of time because, as you guys may know, if you've been following the amateur scene or have been playing in the amateur scene for the past week, Draft Lull is broken and we cannot get Pro Draft working either. So we have no draft tools here. So the players are going to be picking, I think, on the draft tool themselves. We can't get the spectator links working. And then we're going to go straight on into the in-game client draft.
Yeah, we'll have to do a quick version of some sort of draft coverage right at the beginning of the game. But we'll be able to see what happens as soon as we do get in the game, and we'll be able to I guess do a quick mini recap version of it. So we'll see how we can handle that one. But and here we are.
Right out the gate, we can see what is on the Rift now, and we still have Tristana being picked into the mid lane, coming out of the Phi Mini. And then on the opposite side, Polestar's going with that sort of Exodia brawling style composition we can expect coming out of them. Ariano going onto this Galio, going to be a little bit of that AP tank, run you down champion, get some more engage going with Hoarder onto the Rumble, whose early game stats have been nerfed a little bit. So still has that late game AP scaling that could be a little bit detrimental, while Dingo Dan is on the Ezreal with Prismal, Rel rounding out the bot side. Going up against a Jhin. This is very interesting. I think Gerard's going to have a pretty decent time being able to peel for Omnibro. But Ezreal is a devastating lane bully early on. So I'm going to be expecting him to gain that early prio on the Ezreal and shove in this Jhin as much as possible. But we have Jhin on the map, and there's only realistically one tank. So I think Omnibro can find really good useful out of this champion.
Sure. Yeah. You know, the first thing I see when this draft pops up is I'm looking at the mid lane here. I think the side of Pulse has a very good, you know, sort of mid game make something happen on the map type of comp, and I think, you know, whether or not they walk out of the mid game ahead or behind is sort of relying on that trigger finger to make those sort of things happen.
You see Mystic shots are landing back and forth, but Polestar may be coming out on top. It's going to matter who hits that level 2 advantage early on. Hoarder and Slamboy going to keep going for blow for blow. As Oriendo is just going to be playing a little bit precautiously inside this mid lane. Both junglers are reaching their opposite sides of the clear. Ollie is looking to path up towards this top side, maybe shut down Hoarder and get Slamboy a little bit of an advantage. Definitely want to play for those Void Grubs when you have something like a Gragas and a Tristana on your team. Going to be able to easily mow down most of those towers. Meanwhile, Will is pathing a bit more towards this bot side. With a heavy prio bot lane with Ezreal Rel, it's going to be a lot more easier to get that dragon stacking and scaling going on into the early game.
Yeah, for sure. Nothing feels better when you're playing jungle, especially a carry jungler like Kindred, than seeing a Rel or a heavy CC support, you know, on your side. Nothing feels better than walking down there and know you're going to be getting some guaranteed CC and looking for kills early.
Wow!
Set up your dragon prio.
A
Wow, look at that.
20% chance of winning for Polestar given the draft score. Shout out to Pro Comms. That is absolutely absurd. Do they know Rumble got nerfed? I don't know if they know Rumble got nerfed. But I don't know what Pro Comms realistically doesn't like over on the side of Zen Esports. I mean, I could see maybe the Jhin not being what they particularly are a fan of, but we realistically don't know who's going to win until the Nexus falls.
Sure. I think maybe it has to do with the fact that I do think when I look over at Zen's draft, I see Tristana, I know, super strong early. I see Maokai, who has really, really great tools, even from level 3 on, to make stuff happen on the map. I don't really see necessarily any threats that really make me worried as if I was Pulse, moving mid into the late game, particularly when you're skirmishing, when you're looking for objectives. Ooh, is some fighting's happening in the top? And I think they're just going to walk away and shake hands over that one.
Yeah, Hoarder's still showing that this Rumble early game damage with the Flame Breather is still a little bit devastating. It can pump out a ton of numbers early on. Just got to be a little bit careful of it overheating. Bot lane's going to be taking a recall as we have neutral objectives spawning on both sides here within the next minute or two. As the Dragon is going to be up, it's going to be a Cloud Dragon as the first initial. As Mini maybe looking for a play onto Oriendo. Prismal can come over the wall, though, with a dismount if they decide to look for it. Slamboy's back in lane with full HP off the back of the TP. And we see that Ollie is positioning a bit more towards this top side, looking to set up this mid lane prio. Maybe wanting to go for these grubs, as Hoarder's actually going to be coming down. Scuttlecrab is not going to be able to spot out this vision. Gerard has matched the roam timer of his previous counterport supporters. Always going to smite up the first Scuttlecrab into the top side. But this could... no, actually. Will has moved over to the top side as well. So the first dragon is not going to be started yet.
Yeah, it looks like they were setting up for something on the top side between Principal moving up with that roam, and you know, I don't know if they knew if Ollie was on the top side of that mid lane, but even more trading's happening up top. It looks like we're sort of dancing around some fights and skirmishes here, but no one's going to pull the trigger yet.
There's no real reason to. Slamboy does have kill potential onto Hoarder here, so Hoarder's going to have to take a base soon. Doesn't have the TP, though, so he's trying to stay in lane for as long as possible. And push Slamboy out so that he can take a proper base timing and not lose out much, because now he takes a base timing without TP, where there's going to be 2 waves crashing into your tower. He's going to lose so much out of that improper base timing. while Will is looking to push this bot side prio advantage. Shattering Strike's going to be able to find Gerard. And Will wants to go for a potential dive into the turret here, set up this, establish this bot lane prio, and go for the first dragon. Ollie is going to be spotted out by the Kindred, farming up this Gromp, and is moving towards the top side after Will forces him away from it. Is there a Kindred mark on that Gromp? It looks like
there is, yeah.
Yeah, there is. So, wow, Will just walks in and takes a Kindred mark for his solo wards as well. And now he's going to go for the dragon too. Oh, he's going to get a mark and a dragon for his troubles. Oh my, what a play coming out of Will.
Yeah, I do really like that. I like the sort of aggressive posturing early, right? Kindred can sort of just walk at the Maokai and say, you know, this Gromp's going to be mine. And the fact that, you know, you see Ezreal and Rel sort of posture the same exact way, apply some pressure down, feels good. As mid lane, looks like a gank, but nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, not much. Dingo Dan responding with some poke onto Gerard. Me bro with the 4th shot. As Prismal maybe looking to land the Shattering Strike, does find it. It's going to lead into 2 Mystic shots going wide, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do like seeing that dragon go down.
They're moving to the Void Grubs. There's no way they can trade both objectives here. Post-star. The timing. I don't think that Ollie had the damage to clean up the Void Grubs while the dragon was being taken. And instead it ends up being leashed as Hoarder was able to take the aggressiveness while First Blood pops into the bot side while all that was happening. But anyway, in the top side, Hoarder was able to take the aggro of the Void Grubs so they could not reset, and it ended up just being a leash for Will to walk in and finish off the objective.
Honestly, really, really intelligent play, in my opinion, out of Polestar. You're seeing super aggressive play bot. You're walking their jungler off of the Kindred mark. You're taking the dragon, moving right up to the top side and saying, hey, thanks for the leash, man, and taking those grubs. I think it's intelligent. I think Ollie needs to make something happen earlier if he's going to want to take those grubs and not sort of show that he's walking across his map. And Polestar walks away with a lot more than they had to give up there.
Yeah, and as you can see here, we have stats for Will playing this Kindred in playoffs of Open Queue last time around. It was only picked twice, but look at the KDA on this champion. This is one carry champion. And if you can get this thing rolling early, she's already got 1 stack, and as well as 2 objectives. Just needs a couple kills under the belt, and he's got a camp lead over Ollie as well. The AP jungler is supposed to have a little bit of a faster farmer clear, but does not have that. Meanwhile, Hoarder up against Slamboy. Equalizer's committed is going to force out the flash. Many is forced under the tower too, while an invade of the jungle is coming out of Will. Maybe looking to clean up the kill on the Slamboy. He's backing on top of a ward.
Yep.
He's going to be aware now. Will can be able to dash over the wall. Hoarder's going to come on in. Prismal's there with the Shattering Strike as Slamboy tries to dash on into the pit. And there's Ariendel too to land at the taunt. They want to give the kill over to Will, and they will. No pun intended. But this champion is now absolutely a scary nightmare on the Rift right now.
Yep, you never want to see that, particularly early, knowing how Kindred can scale. Seeing Kindred pick up camps of yours, kills on your teammates, it never feels good when you're landing somewhere else and see that. But just really, really smart play again out of Pulse. I like the sort of cross-map plays. I like forcing them out, right? I like the ult coming out of the Rumble, forcing the flash out of Gragas and the follow-up in their own jungle. I think it's applying pressure exactly when you need to. And that's what you want to see out of a team playing at this level and this caliber, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Polestar showing why they made it to the top 4 last time around. And maybe even showcasing a little bit of what they learned since then and applying it to this Swiss stage, looking to make their way back into the top 5 and potentially take that #1 spot away. Porter going to be back in lane. Haunting Geezens has been picked up, so he's going to have a little bit more burn damage into the pocket. He's going to be able to overheat the flame breather. Ignite's committed too. The auto attacks are doing so much damage, and he just cooks Slamboy. The drunken top laner has been put to sleep in the respawn chamber, as Prismo is just going to be able to peel a little bit for Ariendo, who does not have the TP online, but is going to have to take a recall anyway. A little bit weak onto the damage side. Meanwhile, bot lane, it's just Dingo Dan farming it on up against the Jhin. He's got a CS lead, he's got the Phage, he's got the Sheen. He's perfectly fine, you know. He's a safe
good about it. Yeah, that's classic Rumble, in my opinion. You go, oh, I can fight Rumble here. Turns out, no, you can't. Overheat happens in the middle of the flame coming out, and then all of a sudden you just lose all your health. The Ignite comes through. That's why we see the Ignite, right? It's because of plays like that, where you can 100-0 someone really, really quickly. It's a scary thing to see when you're playing in the top lane there, for sure.
I agree. Well, Prismo's going to be able to come over to the wall. The Magnet Storm onto Omni, bro. Into the Mystic Shots. Forces the flash away from the Jhin. But the Smite comes down to the cleanup out of Dingo Dan. Landing one more Mystic Shot to clean up his counterpart. He's going to push out this wave. back, and he's going to potentially have that Triforce online and in the pocket, and that's going to set him miles apart from his counterpart. Nature's Grasp going to be committed onto a Hoarder. They're looking for the gank, but Ariendo has the heroic entrance. It's a great knock up into the Equalizer. Taunt comes out onto Ollie, but the damage from Slamboy is just enough to find their counterpart. Ariendo trying their best to do what they can, but there's no damage on this Galio just built up at the moment yet. And the mid-wing wave will be catched up by Prismal and Will, so they're going to make sure the Galio doesn't lose much of anything off of this run timer.
Oh, is the Galio going back for the re-engage fight here after the waves be cleared, though? I still don't know if he has the damage. His E's down. I don't think he's going to be able to catch him. The phase rush on that Gragas is, you know, a little too much when he hits those 3 abilities. Oh, but Prismal's looking for it on the rail. Oh, not enough. Just a little hey, hi, how you doing?
Yeah, they just want to cancel back.
Yep.
I a little more time. Cancel back.
I really like the idea there. You know, it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. What I was saying is I like the Galio for that exact reason. You know, it sort of adds a little bit of a cushion elsewhere on the map, but you know, without the damage there and the Rumble going down a little too much too early, it doesn't turn out the way they wanted to. The re-engage.
You see that the dragon is being taken in response to the Void Grubs. Meanwhile, Ariendo's looking for another engage onto Slamboy. There's 4 members here into the top side, and Hoarder is able to clean up the kill. So not only did you just you're getting some plates, you're actually going to get a full topside turret here off the back of grabbing 3 more Void Grubs. That you traded out the dragon onto Zen Esports, and honestly, Polestar don't care. The dragon does not mean anything. They got to kill topside. They have 6 Void Grubs now, and they killed off first tower. That, in combination, is 10 times better than caring about 1 dragon.
Sure. And plus the fact that now, look at the Rumble CS lead up on the Gragas. It's a 1-3 Gragas at 72 CS and a 2-1 Rumble. Rumble's one of those champions that can absolutely push leads really, really hard and make you have not a fun time when you're playing in lane against him. I like the idea that they're leaning into the winning lane, as is relatively engaged. Are we going to see a fight here break out?
Counter strike onto Gerard. The snare from Omni Bro is going to be able to come straight on down. Gerard's looking for the trample stop stun off as Ariendo's coming in behind. Ollie going to land the taunt, but nothing really can come up of this. They need to push out this bot wave. They could look for some sort of tower dive. The Magnezone is going to be back online. Meanwhile, Lowe's just cleaning up another Gromp. The wave is starting to get shoved on in. Equalizer comes down to cancel out a ton of backs. Is always looking for the engage on the Prismal. Is not going to be able to find much of anything. As Dingo Tan with the mate and 6 shots cleans up these enemy support. Omni Bro fighting for their lives, but Dingo Dan fighting just a little bit harder. Picks up a double kill within the fight.
I love that the tower aggro dancing that Rumble does there. Throws down the Equalizer, knows how many shots he can take before they're going to die, and then walks right out. And they walk out with a clean 3-0 die. Was that? I think it's just excellently executed.
Yeah, it was 3-0, 100%.
100%.
And it was perfectly timed. 4 stacks, Will, at 13 minutes? That's absolutely absurd. Up in that attack range, it's going to continuously build those on up. I mean, 13 minutes at 4. That's, I don't even want to imagine.
Only 7, right?
20 minutes.
7 stacks is the next attack range increase, right? If I'm not mistaken, it goes 4-3 up and up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like to see that at all, for sure. 4 stacks already at 13 minutes, especially on one of these hard carry junglers like that. I'm curious, do we know how many of those were from camps versus kills? I don't know if there's even a way to see that, but I know there was 1 Gromp taken earlier. 2 camps, 2 kills. Yeah. And with the CS lead, well, I think this is exactly how you want your Kindred to be playing, right? When you see a Kindred pick come out. I like the aggression early. I like using the teammates' sort of roam timers and ability to sort of push those leads in the enemy jungle and in with tower dives.
Well, not only that, we're 14 minutes in and we already have a 6k gold lead. And most of that is going to be into the hands of Dingo Dan and the bot side. With that 4 kills, that's going to absolutely absurdly push that gold lead into the pockets of Polestar. Not only to mention that there's near a 40 CS gap between Will and the enemy junglers. They're looking to get a kill. Potentially Magnet Storm comes straight on down to Gerard and Ollie. Coming over the wall. Will beat Dingo Dan, but runs into an Ollie who snares him up as Will is splashing forward onto Ollie with that attack range. He's able to clean him on up. Ignite onto Jared. Looking to clean this one up. And it's a triple shattered strike. Prismal may be able to give out their life though. So 1 will be traded out from Omni Bro with the 4 shot coming straight on down. Does get snared up, Porter, and the curtain call is committed to Dingo Den, maybe looking to trade on at least 1 onto Slamboy, and is able to find it. The 4th shot does end up connecting, but it's not nearly enough to execute Dingo Dan, and the Rift Herald is going to be taken by Will throughout the majority of that fighting happening.
you know, it's still a 6.5K gold lead, but you got to think maybe we put a little too much pressure down on the gas there. That was 2 for 3 for the side of Polestar. When, you know, you're 6K gold up, do you need to be taking fights where you're not going to clean up, you know, as cleanly as maybe you want to? But at the end of the day, I think they wind up with an even bigger gold lead than they had before. So, you know, maybe the aggression's better than I'm giving them credit for here.
You know, I don't. I'll play the devil's advocate. I want to see them push this lead. They have a 6K gold lead. They have items on most of their players that are like and halfway towards next components. Dingo Dan has 2 items online, and so does Will. Why not just push this lead? Just fight. I mean, realistically,
yeah,
if you're playing as 5 and you're playing within each other as a group, realistically, there's no way Zen Esports can beat you. They have to. Zen Esports at this moment has to play kind of isolation, pick off a single target. And so far, Gerard is the one isolated here. As the Reptile is going to be coming straight on down into the mid lane, looking to clean up the turret. One more auto attack will be able to find Gerard as the True Shot Barrage is able to come down, but it misses up Omni Bro and Ollie. Channeling up the damage reduction is Slam Boy, just trying to slow up and clear this wave. But the turret has already been slammed straight on the pond. Prismo's looking for a potential dismount or a flash over to the wall with the Magnet Storm, but it gets stunned straight on up by Slam Boy. But there's a 2-man Magnet Storm anyway into the double taunt coming out of Oriental. The Nature's Grasp isn't going to do much for you, and neither will Omni Bro as he has to retreat away. One Mystic Shot is doing about a quarter of his HP. Prismo maybe looking to help push out this way. No, they want to go extremely for this mid inhibitor. They feel that they can fight this. Omni Bro misses up the snare. It's going to be a great knockup on Gerardo into the Flame Spitter coming out of Hoarder. And they've killed off the inhibitor turret. They trade away the support's life, but they get the objective that they came for.
Now that is aggression that is more than certainly worth it, in my opinion. They take everything at 17.5 minutes except the inhib. They do leave it up, whether that be intentionally or not. As Galio, is Galio going to take out the Trist here? I'm curious to see this fight.
Yeah, a little bit of a 1v3 about to happen here.
Now it's a
feeling like they're a phenomenal spot. Slamboy comes in with a TP for a little bit upheal. Tornado's going to be able to come straight down into the equalizer, and Will's able to find many. True Shot Barrage, not able to find much either, as Hoarder is able to clean up Slamboy.
This is nearly a 10K gold lead. We're at what? Just about 9K at 18 minutes. It is getting a little bit dire, in my opinion, gold lead wise for the side of Zen here. They are going to be able to look at the dragon and take it, knowing that, what was that? They saw 4, I think, all 4 up on the top side. But
yeah, but now you're going to lose your top side turrets.
Yeah, say, do we take the dragon? Do we give up base? What's happening here? This is sort of when those, you know, decision paralysis moments kick in for Zen, and they're going to lose a turret, for, you know, for their choice to take the dragon down there.
Yeah. Ariana finds Ollie into the mid lane. That's a ton of damage coming out.
It is a lot.
Galio as well. Slamboy is bursted down the health bar. Absolutely eviscerated. Curtain Call is going to be committed. By Mini gets stunned on up, but trades out their life. Prismo for the kill onto the enemy. And now, Will forced to use out the Immortality field. Snare out of Omni Bro. Ollie is going to go W straight on in, but it gets knocked up immediately from Oriental. They're going to turn their sights on to these inhibitors at least. They can potentially end this game within the next 5 minutes, but they gotta stop giving over some kills. They don't want to get any more shutdowns into the pockets of Zen Esports. The shutdowns are basically their #1 way back into this game, especially when they have 2 dragons.
Sure, yeah, and you know, I was saying before that I didn't necessarily like the scaling on the side of Zen, but then again, you know, a Tristana with shutdown gold, a Jhin with shutdown gold, even a Gragas building AP, right? We see a Roa Lost Chapter coming out of this Gragas. There are champs that can make things happen for sure. Giving up over too many shutdown, you know, kill golds, that it's not something you really want to be doing if you're Pulsar, because you don't want to give them any opening, right? You have this win in the back, right? You can smack them down with your wallets, and you know, those openings you give the enemy team, that's when you're going to start to see games accidentally swing over in the other team's side. But I do really like the aggression. You know, I don't want to harp on the fact that I think they're being too aggressive.
Yeah,
Gas on the pedal is awesome.
They're picking up this Baron. Slamboy, Shattering Strike into the taunt off of the dismount knockup. Do they have the damage to burst him down? The Will is finally going to be over here, as well as the Mystic Shot. True Shot Barrage is going to end up going wide, but they killed out the top laner. And now they can potentially start this Baron on basically spawn. And there's realistically nothing that Zen Esports can do to stop them.
We even see Trist on the bot side with no TP. I think they know what's going to happen here. I think they know they're not going to get this Baron, and I think they're going to try and get as much counterside gold as they can before they inevitably have to fight a Baron buffed, you know, 8K gold difference team here.
They're gonna go for mid tier 2 as well, committing the Nature's Grasp. Eastwicker is gonna be able to come down and stun him up. It's a dual man Magnustorm into the heroic entrance, knock up your flashes. Are not gonna be able to go and save you. He gets the double taunt. Ariendo willing to lead the engage straight onto Ollie and Gerard. Gerard fighting themselves in an awkward situation, fighting one-on-one versus the Rumble. And Hoarder is able to cook up the Moo Cow. Steak is 100% on the menu for tonight, and it's definitely not gonna be rare.
Yep.
Flamboy is re-engaging here on interestingly the Buster shot. It will flashes back into the Immortality Field, trying to get the trade kill on to Fi Mini, who gets the rocket jump away. And as the Shattering Strike does come down, Hoarder flashes on forward and is able to find the kills. And the game over emote gets flashed. They feel the confidence that Ami Bro Gerard can't do much of anything to stop them from ending this one out. It's a great pulverized headbutt combo. But once again, the Moo Cow is sent back to the slaughterhouse for cooking again. It will be the steak returning to the kitchen. And now the Nexus will end up falling all the way to the last bit of line of defense. But it does not mean much of anything. Poststars easily take this game.
Wow. That to me is my favorite type of League of Legends to see. I like seeing somebody find that lead, that early lead, put their foot on the gas and not let go. You know, even though they're giving up kills, we talked about it. Hey, are they going to be given over shutdowns? They knew exactly what the limit was, right? And they can, wow, put up a 21 KDA Kindred game. That's super impressive in my book.
Yeah, Polestars already coming out, bullets flying. They are one of the top dogs and contenders to beat in this open qualifier round, and they do not want to be beaten by a team such as Zen. They want to come out swinging. They want to set the standard. You could tell they didn't even underestimate Zen by drafting some wacky composition or anything that's a little bit more out of the ordinary. They came out and absolutely set a standard, and oh boy, are they going to be a team that are playing with a little bit of vengeance, and they're going to be ones to watch.
Yeah, like I like the fact that they come out here. They say we know what we're good at. We're not going to overestimate or underestimate you guys. Welcome to NACL Q. This is what the games are going to be like. If you're not ready, this is your wake up call. I'm curious, by the way. Do you think if you're Zen in this situation, what sort of drafting changes do you see here or think about if you're Zen Esports?
I honestly, I do not know what you can draft going into your next game.
It feels too bad this game. You just ignore it.
I would maybe. It's hard to tell. It's the only game we've seen them play. It's really hard to read what their play style is like.
Mm-hmm.
I would say your bot lane looked a little bit about like the strongest. They weren't really behind too much and were kind of your win con back into it. Maybe draft something a bit more hyper carry instead of the Jhin.
Yeah, you got to sort of, at least in my opinion, I start to question we see a lot of AD mids getting picked, in higher levels of play right now. And I like seeing them. I think they're strong in the sense that they can provide early pressure, scaling pressure, right? They're pretty versatile in that respect. Their range damage. They're not reliant on cooldowns nearly as much as say an AP mage mid is. But I like to see when Tristana's picked mid, some pretty heavy aggression and a lot of jungle attention on that lane, particularly when you have a Maokai pick. Maokai has very, very good gank potential pre-level 6, right? Maokai gets the twisted advance and the root, the slow, the knockback, the slow. When I see a Tristana, I think those kills are really, really, really easy to access in the mid lane. And I think Tristana is a champion that can put a lot of hurt early when you put attention towards it. So for me, it's almost like I don't see the draft issues so much as I see maybe a hesitation to put the gas down, put the pedal on the gas where they needed to put it down, particularly in the game.
I agree. Well, we're going to go ahead and throw it to a break while we get ready for our next matchup. So if you're excited to watch some more Polestar, do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
peekaboo. I see you looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. One time from side to side. to protect your soul.
Wow. If you are just now joining us, we're ready to get into Polestar's second and final match of the night here in the Swiss round of NACL Open Qualifier number 2 of the summer. They won out game number 1 against Zen Esports in pretty dominant fashion, about a 20-minute game where it was pretty much one-sided for a majority of the night. And I'm assuming from what we know, Reeliminate, they took their first game as well, and we have two 1-0 teams going at it head to head. I'm assuming though that Polestar is still going to be the heavy favorites.
Sure. I think nothing it would sway me from changing my mind after what I just saw last game at a Polestar. It was, yeah, like you said, pretty dominant. We had a 10K gold lead before 20 minutes, which most of the time spells doom for the other team. I loved their draft. I loved their ability to, put their foot down on the gas, press every lead. And yeah, as we can see here, the Kindred pick, right? The Galio pick, making things happen on the map, especially with the Rel. They really were relentless.
Oh yeah, Will's Kindred is, I don't know realistically if these teams have time to do much scouting. I'm assuming that the NACL drafts are posted as quickly as possible. So they're gonna know what each team drafted coming out of first match of the Swiss group bracket. And they're going to look to probably potentially ban out something like Will's Kindred. But if that champion is able to come back onto the board, we're going to be expecting that Polestar are going to have a wonderful time going into game number 2 and look to have another dominant showing.
If I'm Reluminate and I see a 21 KDA on that Kindred, that's maybe the first thing I'm banning. It's clear to me that Polestar knows how to find openings, find those gold leads through kills, through towers, through objectives, and then press until they turn those advantages into wins, right? I'm curious if Reluminate can answer what clearly is Polestar's strength with some sort of draft of their own. I do know just from looking at the sheets here that they picked up a Karthus, Set, Zeri, Ori, Leona last game, and were able to pick up a win with that. Clearly, a good high damage team fighting comp has that CC with the Ori. Leona Set combo. Karthus obviously has pretty disgusting damage as AP junglers go. I'm assuming it's jungle, by the way. I haven't actually seen what role it was picked in.
Most likely jungle.
Most likely jungle, yeah. AP jungler is really gross right now. I'm a Karthus fan myself. I play it in the jungle. And I'm curious to see if they stick with a draft that worked for them in this last game. Or if they're going to try and change something up, right? And answer the clearly strong draft from Polestar in the game before.
Well, it's all going to come down to what's picked and what's banned. I'm going to be expecting Polestar to kind of draft a composition like they did last time around. It sounds to me like Reluminate kind of want to play a little bit safe, play a little bit scaling, play towards that end game. And Polestar want to end the game in 25 minutes. They want to get in, they want to get out, they want to put on a clinic and show why they deserve to be the #1 team in this tournament. And so I'm going to be expecting once we get on into the game, I'm assuming our draft rule is not working still. I don't think we have the draft. Or we might. So we might be able to actually show
be able to see one.
guys the draft. Yeah, we might actually get to see the draft this time around. But like I said, I'm gonna be expecting Polestar to draft something a little bit more early game, a little bit more set the tempo, set the prio. Maybe the Kindred isn't allowed onto the board, but that could open up something like Viego, a very strong scaling AD jungler that can realistically set the tempo and the pace of the game.
Yeah, I really like seeing sort of catalyst junglers, like the Kindred, like you said, like Viego, right? Uh, those quote unquote, not solo carry, but really strong forte, put the gold advantage on the jungler type champions. I'm a jungler myself, so I love seeing those come out. Um, yeah, and I think if both teams draft the same way they did the game prior, I'd be worried if I was Reluminate. Um, I always like to be on the side of making things happen early rather than scaling to win later, right? Because you have less of sort of a say of what's going to happen prior. And if you're playing a good enough team, which obviously all of these teams are, uh, they'll be able to find those openings. They'll be able to find the gaps in that armor and be able to take you down before you really have the gold value to be able to hit your item spikes, to be able to do the damage, to face a team that was ahead of you the whole game in a 5-on-5 scenario for objective fights, right? Those pivotal moments that make a scaling comp really potent. Um, I'm curious to see if they stick with an AP jungler. I think the AP junglers are great. However, I think they typically sort of need a little bit before they can come online, right? Some are relatively item dependent, like Lilia, Karthus, obviously, relatively item dependent. He wants to be clearing. Brand, semi-item dependent. Zyra, again, same sort of deal. Or if they're going to maybe answer with an early game sort of skirmishy, get in your face comp of their own. I'm curious if they, like we saw Zen Esports do. I'm curious if they bring out an AD mid. I think those are really, really strong right now. I think they're potent when used correctly. It looks like they played Ori last game, was it? Yes, looks like Oriana, who, if playing into something like a Galio again, I may be worried if they don't change some things up. I really like the way Pulse drafted and executed.
Yeah, I would like to see Oriental. I think that the Galio played really well, but I wouldn't mind seeing this guy on some sort of hyper carry champion in the mid lane, like a Corki, or
Yeah.
even whipping out something like the LeBlanc. Very, very strong in the meta
Mhm.
right now, as well. Azir could be played. I don't think they're gonna whip it out though. So LeBlanc, Syndra, Corki, pretty hyper scaling, basically hyper carry, winning out champions. I'd like to see Oriental on some sort of champion like that. Prismal and the bot side on support, I think played extremely well on
Mhm.
those engage supports. I wouldn't be too shocked if the Rel is picked once again with potentially the Ezreal, or if Ezreal's banned out, maybe even the Zeri comes down for Azog and get that AD carry, get that Zeri going early on with the hyperscaling jungler, like a
Mhm.
Zeri Viego combination
Yeah.
going into the later half of the game. Both those champions get online early within the game. We could just be looking at another Polestar ride into another victory.
Yeah, I'm with you. Especially like, if they were able to capitalize with an even harder scaling comp earlier in the game, like I mean, all of us who, have played League long enough, you see a Zeri and a Viego on the other team who are 3K gold up on you, you start to sweat a little bit. If that's 8 minutes
Oh
into the
yeah.
game, you start to sweat a lot of it, right?
Oh yeah.
And with how they played, it's clear to me that they know how to put themselves in a winning position. So
Mhm.
yeah, maybe they find themselves saying, you know what, let's really, really see if we can close the gap here. Not to say that they're going to limit tests, but if we know how to find these advantages and really press them, an even harder scaling comp could propel them to a harder stomp, if you will, in a game like this.
Yeah, and I'm not assuming that Polestar are going to pull the punches on draft no matter what team they're going up against, because they didn't pull the punches against Zen Esports last time around.
Sure.
And that was an even lower seed that they were playing against. And they still came out and set a tone, set a standard. And that's what I believe is what's so awesome about watching this Polestar squad go at it every single time they play. They're electric, they're ecstatic, and they absolutely come out full guns blazing and set the tone of every game.
Mhm. I actually have a comment. Is that a mid swap out from Ariendel to not Lima 216?
No, that is that is a graphical error. I'm
Mistake?
90% sure. We
Okay.
have a not Lima in the Titan.
Understood.
That plays.
But
I mean, I don't know. Not
it will
Lima
be
seems to be
Ariendel.
on.
Okay.
Yeah, not Lima seems to be on every team, every single broadcast.
Every
apparently. I
single
don't
roster,
I don't understand. The dude is just playing for
when you're
every
that good,
single roster now.
right? Yeah, looking at this draft, we see the Corki, the Tristana come out for bans on the side of Illuminate with the Rumble. I think the Rumble was a great pick in the top side the last game. And for the side of Pulse, Quay, Karthus, again, Karthus is great, and Orianna, one of those playmaking mid lanes. With an Ashe coming out B1. What do you think of the Ashe B1?
I think it's phenomenal. You have something like the Braum that's not going to end up being banned out, and you could block that into the bot side, have a devastating combination that can win you out early game. And Ashe just into the later half of the games, no matter what she builds, no matter where she's at in the game, will be useful. It's a proper B1 pickup. The Leona's going to be tagged in, and this tells me that the Alistar can come out in response out of Prismal if they decide to go for that. I don't really agree with Reluminate picking the Leona this early on into the draft. Saving it for at least the third pick around, let Polestar pick a couple more champions. I understand not wanting to give over the Leona and play into an Ashe Leona, but now you can kind of take your composition and play around this support champion, as we have Ezreal coming out from Oriental. Is going
After having seen the Ashe too.
Yeah, AD mid, Ezreal will be picked on up, and Kog'Maw into the bot side of Illuminate, a champion we haven't really seen too much of. It's not one of the strongest AD carries, but can be very deadly.
It can be deadly if you're playing the comp in a very specific way. I think in more competitive matches as opposed to your average everyday solo queue or normal game. Kog'Maw, when played with the protected Kog'Maw comp, can be pretty gross, and I like seeing it alongside stuff like Leona, like Azir.
Need a ban Braum.
Yeah, I agree. You don't really want to see the.
No.
They banned the Rel. They banned the Nautilus. Yeah, Braum is available. However, well, they won't really pick it on the side of Illuminating, right? We already see the Leona up. Probably not going to see Braum as an R4. I'd be very surprised here. But yeah, I think if you're Pulse, you see that up, right? And just start to say, hey, maybe this is a really good pickup for us. Like with an Ashe, with an Ez.
Oh yeah, go Braum. Oh yeah, I see no reason not to go Braum here. It's a phenomenal pick. You could actually, I mean, Alistar is still a decent pick. So I could see one or the two happening. But Lee Sin is such a combination champion. Okay, Alistar will be picked up.
Alistar, I do like
still a very solid pickup. But both Braum or Alistar work here because Lee Sin is such a combination champion. You just hit him once with the Winter Bite before he engages, goes in off of a Q stack, and then you just stun him. He can't get his whole combo off, so he's just dead. And also Braum can just beat the brakes off of Leona when she engages.
Yeah.
So. And we are not playing on nerfed Leona yet. Leona will be nerfed next.
14.15?
Yep, she is getting nerfed next patch. And then we have a blind Jax going into the Renekton. So not a horrible composition picked up here from Reluminate. But I really like Polestar's draft here, especially because the fact that they have the brand.
I love the brands. I've been playing that before it was meta. It's so much fun, and now that it's good, I think it's super potent. I'm glad people are finally picking it in competitive, matches and series. So I'm excited to see this thing come online.
Were you one of those early game Zyra junglers as well, like for
I was. I love Verkayu. I was watching Verkayu for years. I was like, oh, he said Zyra's playable. I'm gonna try that.
Homie's been playing Zyra jungle since like what, season 3?
Yep. Before it was like remotely doable. But yeah, now it's super potent. I think these AP junglers are maybe an issue in the current meta, but
Okay, Procoms feels as though Polestar is a little bit, more evened up with Reluminate's composition, but so far they still believe that they have a 52% chance of winning comparatively against the competition. And last time around, they had a near 10% up on to the enemy.
Almost?
Yeah, it was almost 60%, but they still got out the dub pretty predominantly. And so I'm gonna assume that Procoms is predicting once again that Polestar is gonna find the dub, and I think a lot of it is going to come down to how this Ezreal plans out into the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm actually really curious to see it. I'm familiar with the more standard Lucian, Tristana, AD mids. Ezreal, I've seen in games, but I'm curious to see how effective it is, particularly into one of those super well-known catalyst competitive mages like Azir, right? And some really fighting in the bot lane.
Engage straight out of Prismal. The Ignite's going to be committed onto the Kog'Maw. They're just trying to get a little burn damage away. The Kog'Maw Leona, very, very strong champion in the game. Probably the best champion in the game right now. has the level 1 and level 2 advantage earlier. So I'd like to see that Barismal kind of put the pedal to the gas and goes for that early engage and get the poke damage down onto 9mm and Cyanotic, just so that they can get themselves that guaranteed level 2 beforehand and hopefully set themselves up for a little bit of a prio position going into this lane, because Alistar, not the greatest early level champion, and definitely neither is Ashe.
Was that barrier burned on that headbutt pulverizing? Yeah, I sort of like the play there. You know, there are a few tools that are going to keep that Kog'Maw alive. Barrier's one of them, and if you can pop that early, I think that sets your lane up really well. Particularly when, you've got a brand who all it takes is a headbutt pulverize into a WQ, and there's the stun for the follow up.
Yeah, I've never been good with the Alistar combo. For some reason, sometimes I hit it, sometimes I mistime it. It's a little tricky one. Gotta hit the practice.
Sometimes you're punching the ground and no one's there.
Yeah, you know?
It happens.
Yeah, you gotta hit the practice tool a little bit more. But as we see, Trade's going to be a little bit more dominant into this top side. Lancelot, Link, and Hoarder gonna have a little bit more back and forth coming, as Will looking for a potential all in here onto Lancelot, who is shoving the wave into Hoarder. So this is going to be recognized. EQ, Brand, one of the best early game junglers. Probably does the most damage aside from the Ezreal right now for the side of Polestar, because Ezreal is one of the best early level champions into the game, primarily because of his passive. And as we can see due to our stat card, this is the first time that Ariandel has locked this AD champion. Lancelot Link going for the slice and dice with the flash in the EQ combo out of Will, and he got first blood on a Brand. That is definitely not what you want to happen.
Yeah, if you're Illuminate, you see that, you're always sort of sighing to yourself a little bit. I really like the flash there. I like waiting if you're the Brand for the slice and dice. That's the E, right? Slice and dice? I'm not mistaken there?
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, you can yell at me in chat.
No. The slice and dice is the Q.
The Q, excuse me. But the double E, he waits for it to happen, and then he actually flash Qs right on top of him to get that stun. I like it. It guarantees the kill. I think it's just a smart play. If you've got the kill in front of you, you go for that flash. You set up that CC. I'm actually curious. What's curious to me is I actually haven't played Arcane Comet on Brand in the jungle.
I don't know about this. I've actually seen some Brands go Conqueror before. And it makes sense because of the fully Fallout team fights, as it's going to be a great headbutt pulverize onto Cyanotic. Flashes forward, gets the stun straight down onto Ariana, but the Ignite is committed. Do they have the damage to be able to burst him down? Maybe one more missing shot. The flash auto is not enough. Will has enough off of the E to be able to clean up the kill onto Cyanotic.
I like that a lot. Great headbutt to knock back. You're burning the flash of the Leo guaranteed. Leo W makes her really hard to kill early, but what a great W out of the Brands to pick that one up.
Now this could open up first Drake of the game. They do decide to go for it.
But Brand has good damage on it.
I personally would. You're missing your support though. Mid lane has to back and TP in, while Oranges is on to this bot side, and the bot side prio is pushing in favor of Reluminate. I want to see them try to contest this dragon. It's not looking like it's going to happen. Instead, Will maybe just looking to get off onto these Void Grubs first off, which is where Polestar won in game number 1. They let the dragon stacking go, and they played their macro perfectly, moved as a unit throughout the map, and took the towers, as Will is just returning to the top side off the Void Grubs Harbor, has to flash away, but Lancelot does not have the dominance anymore. Hoarder is able to clean up the kill that time around, as the Drake's going to end up falling, so you get a kill into the top side, and you get these Void Grubs as well, so it's going to be a worthwhile trade for Polestar.
Sure, they give up the dragon, but I think they knew they wanted to. I think they knew that Lee Sin was going to move down with the Leona, move down into that side, try and scope vision out on it, and then not seeing Polestar on the dragon, they're going to go for it. But I like the fact that Will's going to clear up, get even more gold, pick up those Void Grubs, and then he sees the kill opportunity on Lancelot, pushing up a little past, where he was allowed to. I like the pick up of the kill, the pick up of the Void Grubs. I think they know they can sort of sit back on the dragon stacking for now, because a Brand with items and gold is going to be able to win those dragon fights later on.
Oh, 100%. The only reason I figure, like, it'd be cool to see if they fought for the dragon is because it's an early game Infernal Dragon. Having that one Infernal Dragon stack onto a brand could further push the damage and
Sure.
lead that this champion has, and also would help out with this bot side trading because the Kog'Maw is going to be winning out for the time being. Tier 2 boots have been picked up though onto the Ashe, so if it goes into a little bit of an extended fight, I'm going to be favoring Dingo Dan and Percival. But it just gives them a little bit of the boost in the damage. Also allows for Hoarder to win out in this top side a little bit more. There's the counter strikes that they're going to find onto Lancelot. Commits the dom. No dominance actually committed. It's not online just yet. It looked just about like it was about to be there, but it unfortunately was not, as the True Shot Barrage is just going to be able to chunk down like a Moz just a little bit. And Ariendo, nearly finds the full combo there. The damage is absurd. The Enchanted Crystal is going to end up going wide. Prism gets the flash, knock up, headbutt, 9mm back into the squad, gets stunned up off at the trample stop into the EQ combo coming out of Will, and this jungler has 3 kills in their pocket.
This is the really scary part if you're Illuminate, right? You see a 301 brand, it's not even 9 minutes yet. That's when I'm playing against a brand who's 3-0 in the jungle, that's when I start to really sweat, right? Like, you never want to see that happen. The Leandres is already completed. That burn, along with the passive burn, is going to shred these camps, right? That means he can clear that much faster. That means he's shredding through your tanks, right? Your Renekton, who's building health, but not going to be building a lot of resistances per se. It's shredding through Leona. Ooh, the damage.
Good arcane shift out of Ariendo. No realistic mana either. That was great
forcing out the tower hit.
Yeah, that was great positioning. Like Moz is forced to retreat away too. Prismal maybe he wants to cancel up this back out of Oranges. Yep, just gonna threaten him up just a little bit. I like that Oranges is still kind of keeping up with the clear speed out of Will here on Lee Sin. That's pretty impressive to see, not gonna lie. Headbutt Oranges straight into the waiting Brand who commits ultimate, but Ariendo is able to clean up the kill anyway with the Mystic Shot. They get the kill on over to Will. Ariendo saying, hey, you have enough. Let me have some. Sharing is caring.
Yeah, I commend Oranges on the ability to try and get out of that, but you know, when your Ezreal is sitting, or their Ezreal is sitting right under your tower, it's just a cue to the face. Ends it right there. Yeah, you made a good point before. I think it's impressive, right, that Lee Sin is keeping up in farm. I think typically Lee Sin is not regarded as a farming champion. He's an early game catalyst champion. So it's nice to see that he's keeping up in farm, but you know, on the flip side of the token, Brand is not necessarily in early game powerhouse catalyst, I think, in the same way that Lee Sin is, right? So to see a 302 Brand across the scoreboard from an 010 Lee Sin with relatively similar CS, to me speaks a lot to Will's ability to make things happen on the map.
Well, we're going to see what Will can make happen here soon. He's going to maybe look for another top side gang on to Lancelot Link. The Counter-Strike was already used up though, but Lancelot burns out their stun. No ultimate onto the pocket of this Brand. Dominance is committed, but the burn tick damage going to be nearly enough. Tower shots are being taken as Prismo is there to be able to peel for Ariendo. Arcane Shift already used the Mystic Shot on the Orange. Is going to be able to burst him down to about a quarter of HP, and he's not going to be wanting to take that Q engage. Meanwhile, Dingo Dan is going to have to push out this wave. A little bit got to be wheezy about a tower dive coming in out of 9mm and Cyanotic, as Ariendo maybe looking to land another Mystic Shot on the Like a Moz is in kill potential. Hoarder just trying to clean up this plate before getting on out. Counter-Strike committed, and the ward over the wall is going to be able to help him escape. But we got Void Grubs again in about 20 seconds. No, they're up now. Void Grubs are up, and Will has started them immediately.
A little bit of an interesting scenario. We have mid lane pushed out for the side of Illuminate, and top lane pushed out for the side of Pulse, but the Jax can use the TP. The TP was used. Now we have Prio mid and top. Brand can sort of rip through these Void Grubs, and I don't think that Illuminate has the ability to answer. And unfortunately, we still have 10 seconds left on the Dragon spawning. It's a Cloud Drake. It's coming up in 10, and Polestar is in position to sort of just rotate down and possibly coast to coast this one, which is, if I'm them right now, that's what I'm thinking to do. We'll see where they pull the trigger.
I think they're going to be a little bit lenient on starting it immediately, but the timer for Oranges to move this squad in there and take this Dragon as a trade-off, it's gone. The bot wave prio has already been starting to get picked up. Mid lane still has that priority. Hoarder's able to clean up the first turret into the bot side. No TP though, so it doesn't matter. Prismo is going to be able to stop Oranges from being able to walk into this. You see that the pings are coming down. He still wants to try and force this, but the wave, his bot lane does not have wave prio. Kog'Maw is not able to respond to this, so it's just Lee Sin damage. Prismal knows this. Porter flashes onto Lancelot. That's a huge play coming straight down. Like a Moses TP was canceled, and the Ignite burn tick away. He's able to get on over the wall as Lee Sin is still forcing up this dragon, able to be able to find that. But it's gonna be another wave shove straight on out into the bot side. You made the Kog'Maw come up to this fight for the dragon, and he's gonna lose out more than realistically he gains for it. Another wave's gonna get shoved out.
Stop him. You know, I actually like that play out of the Ashe, the ult to stop him even more. You know, recognizing I have an opportunity to sort of put a little more gold in my pocket. You know.
He stopped the W! Prismal with the play of a lifetime there on the orange, just giving another kill on over to Will. He stopped the W disengage coming out from the Lee Sin.
This Alistair pulverized coming in clutch. First the canceled TP, then the W of the Lee Sin getting stopped. That's a feels bad. You know, it's a total feels bad, man moment. I noticed earlier that when that TP was about to happen, right before that, the Lee Sin had called for the dragon. I think Will was spotted on the top side, which is why that call was made. Which, you know, maybe a desperation call, maybe not. But what it leads to is a wasted TP, loss of Void Grubs, and a loss of a few kills there.
It's real. Ariando's TPing here. Dingo Dan's going to be able to land up the slows. The barrier's already committed to 9mm trying to at least trade out onto Dingo Dan. You know, this Kog'Maw did recently get a passive movement speed increase, but unfortunately it will not be nearly enough. And they're going to get these plates straight on over to Ariando. I don't disagree with this decision. Maybe they want to get a kill on over to Oranges too. Mystic Shot's going to end up landing, and that does a ton of damage. Instead, they're not going to opt to just chase this one on outside. Nautic there a little bit too late, but they're going to take a grub for their troubles. Maybe
I did not know Ezreal did that much damage. Wow.
Hey, he's one of the best, he's like the most S+ tier AD carry in the game right now. This could be a ton of damage onto like a Maz. Has to use the Empress to fight a little bit defensively, but Orange is going to end up falling to Hoarder in the meantime. Anyway, Cyanotic gets caught out into the jungle, and it gets dominated by Will. We have a perfect game on the, well, not a perfect game because 2 dragons were taken on the side of Illuminous, but we have a budget perfect game for the side of Polestar right now. Who once again have almost a 10k gold lead 14 minutes in.
Yeah, that's very scary, that gold lead, right? What was it, 9k? Almost 10k at 15 minutes? That's one of those times where you're like, hey, I don't even know if, with any handouts that our wallet will be able to handle this one. Kog'Maw's trying to make it happen.
He got Ariando! No way! He got a shutdown! That's a 2k. That dwindles the gold lead by
and Dingo
8.
too.
Yeah, they get the kill onto Dingo too. Double kill for the Kog'Maw. Lancelot gets stunned on upside. Arcs there for a little bit of the peel. Hoarder might not have enough damage to be able to fight this 3v1 and goes down. Oh no! This bot side play might have just spelled at least a delayed win for Polestar.
That is, how many shutdowns was that? 2, 3?
That's 4 kills for 1.
4 kills.
Or 2.
Wow,
4
for
kills
1.
for 2.
Hey, I mean, windows of opportunity are always open in League of Legends, and if you Illuminate, you gotta find it. I'm curious to see. It was the auto. Okay. The Kog'Maw damage is actually genuinely surprising there.
Yeah. I mean, 80 carries still have only 2,000 plus HP, so they can still be chunked down. I respect Polestar pushing this aggression and playing to make plays like this and to generate even further of a lead, but you were just about to have a safe 10k gold lead playing into it, and now you're back down to a 7k gold lead.
Sure, I think it's a lesson in patience a lot of time, and you know, striking that fine line between, hey, let's push the pedal down and
oh no! Solar Flash straight onto Will. It's TP coming on in, but Will, he commits the ultimate. Is the damage going to be there? Emperor's defied. Cyanotic is extremely weak. True Shot Barrage able to find 9mm go bang, and like a Maz is chunked down to a quarter HP as well. Oranges is committed to death. 2 triple kill for Hoarder. Wants to go over the wall. Give him the quadra kill. He wants it in game number 2. He doesn't have the counter strike. He does have it now. But Ariando is going to be able to clean up like a Mars. Oh no, he was able to just barely get on out. So no pentakill for the Jax, but a quadra kill is still one way to find yourself shutting down Reilluminate.
That's one way to answer giving 4 kills over when you probably shouldn't have, right? Get a quadra kill on your top laner. I like the bounce back there. I think it's very easy when, you give over shutdowns like that to say, oh man, did we just screw up royally? But, I think they still have, what is it? Yeah, almost a 10k gold lead still. They are still the drivers in this game for sure.
Yeah, jungle invade coming out of Cyanotic. Orange is going to miss on that Q. Lacrimosa is there for a little bit of heal. The Grandmaster at Arc is going to Counter-Strike is charged on up, and he gets a 3-man stun!
Oh.
With the plays for this team coming up big. Oriana with the missing shot, able to clean this one on up. Order may be tempted to go under the tower, but decides he does not want to. Not here, not right now, but maybe now that Will is here. The Counter-Strike charged on up. Prismal is going to go in and land the knockoff. It's a 3-man knockoff out of the Moo Cow. Rift Herald's going to be able to charge on into this tower. They're going to find the bot tier 2 in the meantime as well. And they're going to continue to push this one on forward. They want an inhibitor turret. They have the damage to be able to do so. Solar Flare's going to be able to stun up too. Cyanotic goes in with the Exonian Blade, but it's going to be dashed out immediately. Turret has already gone up and fallen. Prismo still putting in the tons of work. Two-shot Barrage able to find 9mm go bang, and Will was alive throughout the majority of that and will just now fall. Oranges get shot by the scatter arrow coming out of Dingo Dan, and Prismo over there for a little bit of peel too. Maybe they're able to find the kill. Tramples off, gets the stun on off. Dingo Dan, Mystic Shot comes out too. One more auto. They're not able to find it.
So Alistair, I think having a little bit of not patience is the word I'm looking for, but being nice to that who was that Lee Sin? I think that was possibly a kill if the pulverize didn't put him far enough away, but sometimes you get blessings with headbutts knocking you out.
Pulsar just don't care about dragon. I'm learning that they just do not care about any dragon. Like,
did they take one last game? They must have.
They took one last game.
They took one. Wow.
But now they just aren't taking any of them. They can clearly take this dragon. It's looking like they might start positioning and moving towards it, but do they really need it? They have a 10k gold lead.
Yeah, they're playing more so for their wallets and less so for objectives. And hey, I mean, it's working. What a beautiful 3-man with flash right into the E for the stun, and then just the follow-up damage. Jax Ezreal.
Oranges may be caught on out here from the engage onto the Owlstar, and just Crusader finds 9mm. That's absolutely massive. The Solar Flare has to be committed onto Ariendo, who's putting in work on the Cyanotic. Lancelot Link's going to be there, pops out the Dominus. Maybe they're looking to get a trade off onto the AD carry, as I saw an Emperor's Divide push out Hoarder, who looked for the flank coming straight onto this. Is going to be able to find Cyanotic. In the meantime, all the members are dropping like flies for Reilluminate. Horner charging up the Counter-Strike. Will is not going to end up falling to the Azir damage. Not today, not tomorrow. They have to take at least one more tower, but they're going to be moving straight on in to look to take another mid lane inhibitor turret.
If they only have Lee Sin spawning in 1 second, it's not necessarily very easy for a Lee Sin solo at 20 minutes of the game to hold it. Are they going to press it? Looks like they're not going to press it just yet. I think they're saving their gas for just a little bit better of an opportunity and maybe a little bit better of a team fight. And I do think it will be Baron. It looks like the ping came out from them there, right? But then again, if you're Polestar, I think the move here is Baron, right? You're so close to getting possibly 3 inhibs here. Having those Baron empowered minions and having that extra ability power, extra attack damage, mana regen, right? Just going to make that fight that much easier, particularly when you're already up, almost 12k now?
Enchanted Crusader not able to find much of anything. Cyanotic is going to get the engage straight onto the Moo Cow, but I don't think that's the person you want to be fighting right here, right now. Solar Flare is going to be able to stun up Porter, but he's already got the kill and the damage onto 9mm. Bang! The damage, it's already done. The AD carry already out of the fight. Cyanotic is going to be another reap reward for Hoarder. Maybe looking to find that grueling pentakill this time around, but instead they're going to back off and move straight on towards this Baron objective.
And they're going to move straight onto it because cow.
Yeah.
Moo. Thank you guys. I'm here all week. Try the deal. Let's see. Are we gonna see a Lee Sin steal here? What do we think? Oh, Hawkshot's gonna come out to stop that.
Is it worth it? I don't know.
Probably not, because you lose, right?
He's dead. Because he's dead.
Because he's dead. That's when, as a jungler, you tell yourself, I'm the hero, and then you go for it anyway. Whether or not it's gonna win or lose you the game, but then again, even if he doesn't die there, this is sort of looking dire for the side of Illuminate.
Yeah, I realistically, we're encroaching a more than 10k gold lead for Polestar.
Yeah, wow.
Here shortly. I don't really know what Reluminate can do to bounce back. Their best opportunity is to like a kill here onto Will, but like Amos doesn't have enough damage, and this brand just does, you know. It's really difficult to kill the brand.
Oh,
No, they
wow.
get the shutdown.
Look
Prismal,
out, guys.
maybe Prismal waited a little bit too long there. Shutdown goes on straight over to the Azir. Prismal with the trample stomps, maybe trying to find the stun on up. NACL's gonna get a nice, good double knockup so far. He's not able to get the stun onto Dingo Dan. The reinforcements are coming in. Hoarder is coming down. Counter-Strike charged up. Oranges get stunned down. Grandmaster at Arms committed. Unable to find the kill just yet. But engage straight onto Cyanotic. Gets a double stun off. He do the damage. It's a great knockup. Hoarder able to find one and another one for Dingo Dan into the pocket too. Ariana looking to get this tower damage going. Oranges flashes the thumbs up emote, but everything is not fine at the moment. I'm gonna go bang. He flashes for this kill onto Ariano. Prisma's gonna be there though. Ariano is with a great dodge on up. So you burned your flash for a kill on Ariano, but you're losing your base, man. I hate to break it to you. I don't know if that's a great trade-off. But I think now is the time that Polestars do move towards a dragon.
They move. Because Cal. Again, second move pun of the night. Yeah, the second one didn't land as well as the first one. Yeah, I like the use of Jax's Counter-Strike. Hoarder with the Counter-Strike there. That's a handful of times now that I've seen just really good stun timing. However, maybe a little bit of too much aggression there. They lose, what, 2-3 members? But DeWill go down, Ariando went down. And they're able to get the bot side inhibitor, but they do put themselves in a position where it's not-
almost find the kill. Like Amos is going to be able to go golden, but the Empress Device already being committed splash just to try to be able to get out. Cyanotic, you're caught with a Jax on top of you. Grandmaster at Arms damage coming in too. Prismal in there for a little bit more engage, a little bit more peel. 9-minute recovery gets engaged straight upon, and he just knocked that 80 carry straight towards this Jax, and I'm smelling a victory. Lancelot Link, the last one standing, last one remaining. The only wave they realistically have though is going to be coming in through the bot side. It'll be a super minion wave. Recall's going to be committed on a Hoarder. He has TP though, so he is going to be able to get back in the nick of time. Dingo Dan landing the Ash Arrow straight on to Lancelot Ling. He flashes out of the fountain, maybe looking for the kill, but the dominance is going to be procced here. Lancelot with one last ditch effort, he's going to decide not to go in, but they want to pad the stats. Polestar before it falls. No, they don't get the kill. Polestars take game 2 of the Swiss bracket and another dominant fashion.
Yeah, I almost ate my words there. I'm glad they started the fight, so I couldn't say what I was going to say, because I thought, you know, they'd maybe put themselves in a position where they can't close out as soon as they may have wanted to, and they just immediately proved me wrong with really hard engaged. What a beautiful level 16 brand ult. What was that, like 1/3 health immediately just gone on 2 of their members? Yeah, I really like the ability of this team to know exactly what the strengths are of their composition, find the gaps in the enemy team's composition, right? What do we do better than they do? And then press. These gold leads, you know, I think speak for themselves in that regard.
Yeah, and so does the damage. But holy, what a phenomenal weekend start for Polestar in the Swiss round. They go 2-0. I believe that's all we're going to have for matches tonight, but we will have more tomorrow with, I believe, Crims and Anti will be on to the broadcast for the Sunday coverage tomorrow. But our usual Chris and Loki should be here to help cover the matches. We always give shout outs to them, and a huge shout out to Polestar for partnering with us for this next round of the NACL. We absolutely love watching this team in action. So if you guys want to check out more of the squad, they will be back tomorrow for another 2 games, and they're going to be looking to further extend their lead.
Awesome. This team already setting a really, really high standard, right? This is a team to watch, games to watch. It's going to be a fun OQ to watch. Look forward to it.
I agree. So we will see you guys tomorrow